usirudi nyuma.
We also have the geothermal potential in Kenya. We have that potential. Already have enough steam for that particular power plant.
The process proudly brought to you by Buchan Furnitures Limited, local manufacturers of quality office furniture and dealers in quality office equipment like fireproof safes and cabinets. For orders, visit our showroom at Uniafric House, Koinange Land off Koinange Street.
Every day, you hear news reports about routine immunization across Kenya. Once pregnancy is confirmed, a mother is recommended to visit the health facility for tetanus toxoid vaccination. As soon as a child is born, a child receives a birth dose of oral polio and BCG. At 6, 10, and 14 weeks of age, a child is to receive polio vaccine drops, pentavalent vaccine on the left thigh, PCV10 vaccine and rotavirus vaccine, and at 14 weeks, IPV on the right thigh. In addition, a child is recommended for yellow fever vaccine in some select counties. In malaria endemic sub-counties, a child will receive malaria vaccine at 6 months, 7 months, 9 months, and 24 months. At 18 months, a child receives measles rubella vaccine. At 10 to 14 years of age, a girl child is supposed to receive 2 doses of HPV vaccine 6 months apart. All adults of age 15 years and above are recommended to receive COVID-19 vaccines. Make every immunization visit count. Make a visit now to your nearest health facility. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and UNICEF.
Good evening. Thank you so much for creating time for us today, being the 23rd day of January, the year 2022. A lot has been happening in Kenya and beyond borders right here in our country. Politically speaking, we saw the Amani National Congress Party, of course, having their National Delegates Conference that climaxed in a lot of political announcements that were made. Musalia Mudavadi, one of the things that he made very clear that he's going to be going for the country's top seat, and a new political marriage that also characterized the National Delegates Conference. We got details about what happened at the Bomas of Kenya today. And of course, on Sunday Express, we're going to be talking about food security. And this is coming against the backdrop of what the government has put out there. Last year, we saw the government declare drought and national disaster, and of course, putting 2.1 million Kenyans as a figure of the population of people who are facing acute food insecurity in the country. We'll be talking about how to manage this crisis. What are some of the projects and efforts that have worked? How can we learn and move this forward? And we'll be having that conversation later on with Kevin Shingles. He is the country director of World Hunger Hilfe. And of course, we will be discussing more about the Global Hunger Index and how our country is faring when it comes to the ranking of nations, when it comes to matters hunger. What do we do and how do we improve our situation? That and much more contained in our comprehensive news bulletin that begins right now. But first, here are the top stories.
I want to be your next president, and I trust through the will of God of all creation, you will give me the opportunity.
Elect me your next president. ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi makes his declaration, promising to turn around Kenya's economic fortunes. The Bomas walkout. Presence of DP William Ruto in Mudavadi's fate causes Oka leaders walkout. And the joy of financial freedom. We tell you how the Hunger Safety Net program is lighting up the face of senior citizens. Once again, a very warm welcome to the broadcast. My name is Serfine Achieng'Ouma, and our sign language interpreter for the night is Byron Abuli. Welcome on board. Let's begin with our top story. Politically speaking, Amani National Congress Party leader Musalia Mudavadi has officially announced his August polls presidential bid, which he said was pegged on a platform of salvaging the country's economy under the mantra of Uchumi Bora, Pesa Mfukoni. Mudavadi, who addressed the Amani National Congress Party National Delegates Conference at the Bomas of Kenya, claimed that the country's economy was in the red owing to overborrowing and corruption, promising a turnaround if elected next president. The event that saw a walkout by Musalia's Oka Coalition co-principal Wipers Kalonzo Musyoka and KANU's Gideon Moi was also attended by Deputy President William Ruto and a section of UDA allied leaders.
I want to be your next president, and I trust through the will of God of all creation, you will give me the opportunity to get our country out of the morass of decay and place it back on track where it once was.
Amani National Congress Party leader Musalia Mudavadi officially announcing his presidential bid. The ANC leader taking the opportunity to attack head-on the current Jubilee government over what he termed as driving the country's economy to the drain.
Let me state the obvious. Kenya is broke. Tusidanganyane. Punitive, heavy taxation is applied to anything and everything, from airtime to fuel, electricity, agriculture and manufacturing, and the inputs.
Mudavadi pinpointing Jubilee's failure in the country's debt management and the fight against corruption.
The private partners in these cartel-style deals are people in government, working with their close family members and cronies. These people are literally eating up the country. They are eating you up. For how long will we allow this to go on?
While seeking for the voters' endorsement, Mudavadi pledged to restore the country's economy through a 5-point economic model under the Uchumi Bora Pesa Mfukoni mantra.
We will want a fair tax system that allows everybody to do business and to survive. I don't think there's a Kenyan who wants to avoid tax deliberately, unless it's a criminal. But they do not want punitive taxation. They want a taxation that is fair. We shall deliver.
In a thin-veiled attack to the two handshake partners, Mudavadi was categorical that the economy could not be resuscitated, promising to use his vast experience as a former finance minister to get the country's economy out of the woods.
In his over an hour-long address, Mudavadi has maintained that his endorsement for the ANC presidential candidature is a step in the right direction and that he is ready to face the road ahead. Bottom line, to help Kenya recover economically. Kamche Benzam for Sunday Express at the Bomas of Kenya.
All right, staying with our particular story, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, KANU chairman Gideon Moi on Sunday stormed out of the ANC delegates conference in an apparent protest against the presence of Deputy President William Ruto. The duo had been invited to witness the declaration by Musalia Mudavadi that he will be seeking the presidency come August. Timothy Kipnusu with details of what might be perhaps the biggest test in the shaky political union.
Kalonzo Musyoka and Gideon Moi appear to have turned their backs on their One Kenya Alliance co-principal Musalia Mudavadi on his big day.
Na hii earthquake leo Musalia, it has already claimed 2 victims.
The duo had just arrived at the Bomas of Kenya, but soon left when it became clear that Deputy President William Ruto had also been invited to the ANC Delegates Convention.
Mimi nilialikwa kwa kongamano la Wiper. Na vile tulifika huko, tulipata wamealika marafiki zao. Hatukukasirika. Leo mimi nimeshangaa. Ati majamaa wanakuja kwa harusi yetu, wanaona tumealika marafiki, ati wanakasirika, wanakanyaga mguu bana.
Mimi nilikuwa katika holding room na mandugu Gideon Moi, Mheshimiwa Musyoka Kalonzo, na tulikuwa tumeketi pale tukingoja huyu kaka amalize shughuli ya NDC tuje hapa pamoja. Lakini wale kwa sababu hii au ile hawakuweza kukaa, lakini mimi nilikaa.
Fort Kenya's Moses Wetangula was the only one left among the equals to flank Musalia Mudavadi as he announced his entry into the fray.
From here, wale ambao wana roho hafifu watakata kona. Wale ambao wana roho ngumu tutaendelea. Going we shall, winning we will. And I want to urge my brothers, like Winston Churchill said, you will not finish your race if you stop to throw stones at every barking dog.
For some, Sunday had been set aside to introduce Musalia Mudavadi to the 2022 presidential contest. But to others, the day had been crafted to deliver Oka to Deputy President William Ruto. Sunday's events perhaps point to some perceived differences that have been growing within Oka. Musalia Mudavadi now says will be seeking new partnerships and alliances. Musalia Mudavadi has made it clear that he is moving on, with or without his colleagues in the One Kenya Alliance.
The fallout of Oka has opened yet another chapter in Kenyan history, with the two principals now forced to go to the drawing board, considering the fact that they have left with the top option, either to support Raila Odinga's Azimio la Umoja or form another formidable pact in their quest to State House. Timothy Kipnusu for Sunday Express.
Thank you, Kipnusu, for that. Now, still digging deep into what happened at the Bomas of Kenya. A political pact between Musalia Mudavadi's ANC and William Ruto's UDA could be in the offing, united in the pursuit for economic prosperity. The Deputy President and his allies have been reaching out to the ANC party leader over the last couple of weeks for joint political campaigns. The two sides have given the strongest hint yet when the DP attended the ANC National Delegates Conference at the Bomas of Kenya on Sunday.
The ANC National Delegates Conference not only endorsed party leader Musalia Mudavadi as a presidential candidate, but also revealed the possibility of Mudavadi working with Deputy President William Ruto.
Starting now and in the coming days, ANC will be seeking partnerships on the journey that we are now embarked upon. There is no shortage of friends, of goodwill, and good intent to partner with.
The conference, graced by Deputy President William Ruto and Tujibebe party leader William Kabogo, celebrated as Musalia Mudavadi tore into Azimio la Umoja.
For the avoidance of doubt, the ANC stand, which I am privileged to pronounce, is that the spectre called Azimio is not an option when it comes to partnership.
Mudavadi indicating intentions of working with Deputy President in case of a runoff, combining the Ruto slogan of Hustler and ASC slogan of Uchumi Bora.
Uchumi Bora, Pesa Mfukoni, is about moving sovereignty to shared economic benefits for all.
And the people who've been talking about the economy are in this hall today.
The looming pact between Mudavadi and Ruto can be traced to mid-2021 when the ANC party leader declared NASA coalition dead and vowed not to support ODM leader Raila Odinga. Since then, the deputy president has been reaching out to the ANC leader, who has committed to be on the presidential ballot.
The journey to bring this unity together has started in Bomas. Our next stop will be Wednesday in Nakuru County.
Hishoki Washira, Sunday Express.
All right, now away from Bomas, Orange Democratic Movement leader Raila Odinga has promised to seal all corruption loopholes if he clinches the country's top seat in the August general elections. Speaking in Nakuru County on Sunday, Odinga said corruption has been a major impediment to the progress of the nation and needs a determined leader to exterminate it.
ODM leader Raila Odinga on Sunday took his Azimio la Umoja campaigns to Nakuru. The former Prime Minister made various stops where he restated his promise to seal all loopholes used by the corrupt to steal from Kenyans. Odinga affirmed that his government will root out everyone involved in graft, irrespective of their social class.
Nimeshakuwa waziri mkuu ya Jamhuri ya Kenya. Najua pale pesa iko. Sawa? Najua pale ambaye kuna mianya ambayo jamaa wanapenya naye na wanaingia kwa hazina yetu, wanaiba pesa yetu. Wanaiba naye pesa. Wanataka kule wamefura kabisa. Nitaziba yale mianya zote. Tutapigana na ufisadi.
Raila said he will reduce the cost of fertilizer to help improve agricultural output.
Sana. Unajua mimi chini wiki mbili bei ya mbolea itarudi chini. Sawa? Mimi nawahakikishia nyinyi baada ya uchaguzi nakuja itakuwa shuka zaidi chini ya shilingi 3,000 kwa gunia. Sawa?
Leaders who accompany him rallied locals behind Azimio la Umoja, which they said has the interests of Kenyans at heart.
Kwa basi, alafu ukute wale wengi kwa hiyo basi ni watu ambao wako na makezi ya wizi. Sioni kuonesha ni basi ya wezi. Sioni basi ya wezi.
Now, away from politics, the infection rate in the country is on a downward trajectory after 91 people tested positive for COVID-19 disease Sunday from 3,229 samples tested in the last 24 hours. The positivity rate now stands at 2.8%. From the cases, 71 are Kenyans, while 20 are foreigners. 23 patients have succumbed to the disease, all of them being late deaths reported after conducting facility record audits in the month of December 2021 and the month of January 2022. The country's death toll now stands at 5,554. 11.5 million vaccines have been administered so far across the country. Of these, 6.3 million are partial doses, while those fully vaccinated are slightly above 5 million. Another 36,765 are doses administered to those between 15 to 18 years, while 115,058 are booster doses. Now let's move this forward. Imagine being in need of relief assistance, but when you finally receive it, you simply can't eat because the food is either too hard to chew or you simply have no teeth to dig in. But then just when you thought things couldn't get better, the Good Samaritan converts the assistance into cash so you can be able to buy the type of food you want. Well, that is the story of a 74-year-old woman from Turbi village in Marsabit County. Ruth Wamboi tells us more.
Kaso Wakomano is approaching her senior years. The burden of old age is catching up with her, and just like any other normal 74-year-old, her pace is getting slower by the day.
Anasema hiyo pesa kuchukua amefurahi sana kitu ya kwanza. Alafu alikuwa anaenda naye kutumia kununua maziwa, kununua viatu.
For months, Kahaso has been receiving food rations from the government, but because she has no teeth, she has had either to give it away or let it sit there.
Hii pesa tangu ilikuja hata watu wanaongoja na masikio pesa yake mengi, hata wanasumbua useni, wanapigiwa useni, wanaambia pesa imekuja. Sasa wakisikia imekuja, asubuhi watu
nafurahia kabisa.
Kahaso is among thousands of senior citizens who depend on the government for their daily upkeep.
Wakati hii pesa nakuja, nimesaidika. Mimi akuli mingi, 2,000 mimi nakula, 300 mimi naweka. Kama mimi namaliza miezi 6-7 hivi, maswa kama nachukua 2, moja mimi nabiga naye jioni, moja mimi nabiga naye asubuhi. Hiyo pesa hiyo mingi ni ya maswa.
The cash transfer program has empowered people like Kahaso, earning them trust from shopkeepers who do not hesitate to extend them credit way ahead of the payday.
Sai ukipata namna hii unapata mzuri pesa yake. Yeye ni mzuri kwa sasa, hawezi kaa na pesa ya watu. Mama ni mzuri.
Pia amenunua mbuzi karibu 20. Ile 2,200 ananunua ile kama mtoto ya mbuzi na inaendelea.
The Hunger Safety Net program is targeting some 20,452 households in Marsabit County alone and thousands more across the region.
We have a database called the Enhanced Single Registry, and within that database we have the group HSNB beneficiaries, Group 1 and Group 2. Group 1 are the regular beneficiaries receiving a bi-monthly 5,400 shillings bi-monthly. Group 2 are the ones that whenever we have a drought situation like this, they could easily, slide to poor level. So these are the ones that we, upscale and start targeting them.
Ruth Wamboi for Sunday Express.
Thank you, Ruth, for that report. Now, aside from the Hunger Safety Net program, we'll also be talking about other efforts that have been put in place to achieve a hunger-free country and a hunger-free globe. And I'll be having that conversation with Kelvin Shingles. He's the country director of World Hunger Hilfe, and we'll be engaging on what has worked, what has not, and how is Kenya ranking when it comes to hunger globally. That and much more coming up after this break. Do stay with us.
Beacon Furnitures Limited. We're local manufacturers of quality office furniture, dealers in quality office equipment like fireproof safes and cabinets. Our automated state-of-the-art factories at Henna House along Enterprise Road in Nairobi's industrial area. Our showroom is at Uniafrica House, Koinange Lane off Koinange Street. We are passionate believers in locally manufactured goods. When you and I buy locally made furniture, we impact on the livelihoods of our brothers and sisters. For orders, visit our showroom at Uniafrica House, Koinange Lane off Koinange Street. Beacon Furnitures Limited. Jenga Kenya, tupate ajira.
Una hakika kwa bank?
Bila shaka.
Watoka wapi?
Excuse me?
Mimi nimekuuliza watoka wapi?
Kwa hivyo unamaanisha mama amemkosea baba ama unamaanisha nini?
Umekasirishwa na nini bingo?
Oh, so this is okay with you? This is okay with you?
Wewe ukajua roho ya mwanaume. You pity her, right? You think she's lucky?
Log on to the KBC website at www.kbc.co.ke to get the latest breaking news, entertainment, sports, politics, lifestyle or business trends from Kenya and around the world. Never miss new episodes from your favorite TV shows, reruns and movies. Just stream online or watch live on your YouTube channel at KBC Channel 1 TV shows. For the day's biggest stories, trustworthy news and family entertainment, log on to KBC Channel 1. Watch what you want anytime, anywhere.
All right, welcome and thank you for staying with us. Please continue engaging us on social media at KBC Channel 1 using the hashtag Sunday Express. I appreciate Kelvin Oluoch watching us from Nairobi together with Queen Daila and Cynthia. Veleboy Ochieng from Migori County, we appreciate you. And of course, Kiplagat Mutai also, we appreciate you creating time for us this particular night. Of course, let's continue informing you on what we have for you. Just before the interview, very quickly, a few stories I have here. Now, ever wondered how the internal heat of the earth, otherwise known as geothermal, is processed into electricity? In this week's episode of The Process, a weekly news feature, we focus on geothermal power generation.
We are here at the Kengen Geothermal Generation Plant in Naivasha to get to witness the process of geothermal power production. We're taken to the steam fields, the actual source of geothermal power.
Once then, of course, the geoscientific team has identified the area. The infrastructure comes in to do the well sites and also the access roads. Now, once that has happened, then that site is transferred to another department called drilling and logistics. Now, drilling and logistics are responsible for drilling of the well.
The team goes to the field, then we collect data, and that data is what is used to site the wells. A suitable site for us to be able to drill that well.
The process of geothermal power making begins here. The steam comes from the steam fields through steam inlets on either side of the plant to allow the steam to flow more efficiently into the turbine.
And the turbine is laid such that you can be able to ensure the steam flows from two sides so that it is very efficient. It expands very efficient from the first stage to the last stage.
The steam enters the power plant and goes through a separator that separates the water and the steam and ensures that no water gets into the turbine.
Once the steam is at the plant, then we will take it through a steam scrubber, and the objective is to remove any water that has remained or that has come with the steam.
The steam must be 99.99 dry to be able to operate the turbine in a safe way. The dry steam enters the plant and rotates the turbines at 3,000 evolutions per minute. Once the turbine rotor rotates, it also automatically rotates the generator because the generator rotor is within the electromagnetic field. Electricity is then generated.
And once the generation or the turbine rotor rotates, then it rotates the generator rotor.
The electricity is generated at 11,000 volts and later to 22,000 volts to be able to be transmitted to other areas. Once power is generated, it is transported from the generator through giant cables that are inside a protective cable casing that protects the cables from interference or accidents and carry the power cables from the generator to the transformers. We then go to the control room.
So from here we can see the whole plant overview.
Once the steam or the condensate has been used to turn the turbine, it is exhausted into the cooling tower basin and condensed back to water.
So this is the final stage of the process. After the steam has been converted to electricity, transported through the electricity power grids, and then the steam comes in through the condenser into this cooling tower, At 105 degrees Celsius, it is cooled to 23 degrees Celsius. It is then re-injected into the reinjection tank where the process begins all over again.
Nisi Manokoth for The Process.
All right, the process turning geothermal into electricity. Now you know. Now on to news making headlines across the counties. Baringo North Member of Parliament William Cheptumo is calling on the government to restore normalcy in insecurity-prone areas in Baringo County. The legislator saying the move will allow candidates who are sitting for the national exams to prepare adequately. This and more in our county news wrap.
Speaking during the unveiling of a school bus in Ketuo Secondary School, the Baringo North MP claims 5 schools have been closed as a result of banditry attacks in the region. He said it was high time the government improved the security situation in the area.
Mashule zimefungwa sasa. Wanafunzi kufanya mtihani ni shida. Mashule zimefungwa. And therefore the future of our young people, of our children again, is at stake.
Meanwhile, police in Kabete are investigating the cause of a fire that gutted down a classroom in Muguga Primary Public School. The fire, which started at around 9 Sunday morning, burnt down the roof of one of the classrooms before Good Samaritans managed to put out the fire before spreading to other classrooms.
Ilionekana saa 3 asubuhi ndio watu walijua na raia wakapiga mayowe na watu wakaingia wakaizima.
And an empowerment program by the Office of Kisii County Women Representative Janet Ongera to rehabilitate and remove urchins out of the streets has reportedly achieved substantial success. Ongera distributed 2 dry cleaning machines and sports t-shirts to 2 groups of the street children in Kisii town amid public concern that their numbers were on the increase. The initiative has so far rehabilitated 10 street kids who have since joined schools.
We also gave 2 car washing machines, which they will place here in Kisii town as a way of empowering them so that they don't smoke glue. They can have their own money, which they can be able to become independent.
Finally, an announcement by the 2 transport ministers from Kenya and Uganda to clear the trucks backlog along the Northern Corridor by Wednesday next week has received accolades. The Bishop of Holy Redeemed Apostolic Ministry International in Busia, however, urged the 2 to walk the talk.
Commitment is important. I have personally traveled from Malaba some 3 days ago to Eldoret. It was hell. I saw so many accidents on the way. I even now prayed, God, I wish I had an aeroplane.
Leave the rest to me. I'm going to figure out where we are going to go from here.
You just need to buckle down and work harder and you can achieve success.
She hasn't said anything, but I wouldn't say we're that close.
If your entire life revolves around fighting and screwing people over, what is there to be happy about?
You know, what do I have to be happy about?
I have 2 months. I still have a lot I'd like to do.
用一段故事建筑一座城堡，回放进去后就不再。
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723 892 654 or 0734 780 124.
All right, so welcome on this other side. As we start our interview tonight on Sunday Express, we are talking about food security in the country and just focusing on how to get a hunger-free nation, a hunger-free world. Is it even possible? If yes, what is it that we need to do to get there? That is what we are going to be talking about, coming against the backdrop of what the country has gone through. At the beginning of September last year, we saw President Uhuru Kenyatta declaring drought a national disaster following the National Rainfall Report. And of course, 2.1 million Kenyans were reported to be facing acute starvation. Has the situation improved? That is what we will be focusing on today. And how do we reverse the trend and change the narrative when it comes to eradicating starvation and hunger in our country? And I'm going to be engaging in this particular conversation. Allow me to bring on board Kevin Shingles. He's the country director, World Hunger Hilfe. Thank you so much for creating time for us.
Thank you very much, Serfine. It's a pleasure, and thank you for giving us an opportunity on your news segment tonight. And your pronunciation was pretty good, World Hunger Hilfe, but you can say WHH.
Yes.
Yeah, so thank you for the introduction. And I think what we're talking about this evening is the Global Hunger Index, commonly known as the GHI. And the GHI is simply a tool that tracks hunger globally, regionally, but also country-wise, and it's a tool that we're going to be launching next week on the 26th of January with various stakeholders, and it looks at progress over time.
All right. Let me just cut you short because I want us to take this step by step for Kenyans to understand this. So we're talking about a hunger report, and there has been a lot that has been done to come up with this report. In a simple explanation, one would ask themselves, what is this Global Hunger Index report? And also tell us, in this Global Hunger Index report, how is our country as Kenya faring? You've heard what I've said in the intro there, 2.1 million Kenyans facing acute starvation. Where do we fall?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as I said, it's a tool that is tracking hunger. So we're looking at food insecurity, we're looking at food secure homes within Kenya. And this is tracked globally, but it also brings it home to Kenya, where we're monitoring through various indicators. For instance, the undernutrition or undernourishment within the population here in Kenya. It also focuses on that segment of community which is the under fives, and it looks at stunting levels, it looks at wasting, and it gives an overall picture on whether Kenya is food secure or which areas of Kenya are not food secure, and where more attention needs to be paid to bring out the desired outcomes of a food secure nation, as it were. On a positive note, I think Kenya has made some steady progress since 2000 to 2012, and the hunger situation has reduced. But unfortunately, from 2012 onwards, the progress has been too slow. And I think there really needs to be more done against the fight against hunger, because, as I mentioned, we're in a situation where it is slowing or it's actually stalling. And this is a worrying sign for Kenya, particularly with an increasing population. And as you've mentioned, Uhuru Kenyatta declared a national drought, where we're seeing more and more of a situation where people are going hungry.
All right. Shingles, if the 2022 report is not yet out, that's what you are saying is to be launched on the 26th of this month. But if you look at what the 2021 report gave us, as a country, how are we ranking? And is it a good thing or a bad thing from where you sit?
Okay, we rank the Global Hunger Index from 0, which is low rates of hunger, right up to 100, which is alarming or extreme food insecurity within a country. And Kenya is actually still ranked as a serious hunger situation. Unfortunately, we think of Kenya as a middle to lower income country status, but we still have large segments of the population that live on less than $2 a day, that are poverty stricken, and unfortunately are surviving on less than on a meal a day as well. So that is the situation we see. And if we look at the statistics within the GHI, we have 24.8 or 25% of 50 million people here in Kenya that are actually regarded as undernourished.
That's almost a quarter of the entire population.
Yeah, that's not getting enough calorie intake. That is, leading to maybe a less healthy or productive life, unfortunately. And then we also see, as I mentioned, segments of the community, such as the children under 5, where we still see high rates of stunting, which is an indicator for chronic undernutrition. And I think this also reflects that they're not getting enough vitamins or there's mineral deficiencies within their diet as well. And then unfortunately we also see a situation of wasted children. 4.8% of all children under 5 in Kenya are actually wasted, where we look at acute malnutrition. And unfortunately with the drought situation, we're seeing more and more of this situation across particularly the areas of northern Kenya, the ASAL, the arid, semi-arid lands of Kenya. I'll give you an example. The global emergency threshold for global acute malnutrition by WHO is 15%. That then should cause a reaction or an emergency response. But recently, if you look at areas of Marsabit and Turkana, you've got areas in Marsabit, North Hore sub-county, that we have around 24 to 26% of global acute malnutrition. If you go a bit further towards Alaret, the area of cross-border with Ethiopia, you have as much as 46% global acute malnutrition. That means 46% of all children under 5 are suffering from, lack of diet.
Yeah, true. And when you talk, just in the interest of our viewers, when you talk about indicators such as child wasting, these are children who have low weight for their height. When you talk about child stunting, also as an indicator, these are children who have low height for their age. Just to make it easier for our viewers, and undernourishment is actually the share of the population that is lacking the caloric intake. They get insufficient caloric intake. When you look at this and you look at the long-term impact this is going to have, if you look at that population, what is that significant impact that this is going to have if you have such a huge population not being able to be well fed? What is the future impact of this if we do not address it now?
Well, I think we're just going to see more and more humanitarian needs. We want to be able to support resilience. We want communities to be able to cope with the current drought situation that they're experiencing. But unfortunately, the figures as they stand at the moment, we see around 2.8 million people requiring humanitarian assistance. And this is because we've seen, climate change has had definitely an impact, and we've seen an increased frequency of crises. We've seen failed rains from 2020. October, November, December 2020. We've seen the long rains, March, April, May 2021, also depressed rainfall. And then we've seen October, November, December 2021 that has also had depressed rainfall, and some areas have received and others haven't received anything. So, this is impacting the current situation within particularly the areas of northern Kenya.
Shingles, I want us to be futuristic about this now. We know that there is a problem, there's a crisis, and like you said, even when I asked you that question earlier, Kenya is not at a very good place. Of course, we are making progress, but we are not at a good place when it comes to managing, hunger in among our population. So, your organization has been pivotal in running certain grassroots initiatives, and we are at a point where we're trying to look at lasting solutions for this. I mean, what do you feel has worked and what has failed to work? And even our response, which include, supplying relief food to these populations that are vulnerable, giving cash to those also that need it. Are they helping us to have that long-lasting solution?
I think there's been a lot of effort in supporting resilience building of communities, particularly way back from 2012. And I think that's put us in a better situation where, some communities, some villages, some households are now able to support and protect themselves. But as I mentioned, with these increasing crises that we see, the increased frequency of these crises, their coping ability has been constantly depleted. So I think we need to really emphasise and continue the resilience building. what we want to focus on is self-help capacities. We want communities to be able to help themselves, not rely on humanitarian aid coming in, not food aid coming in. But in your previous segments, it's fantastic that we've seen the hunger safety net has been mentioned, and that now there's two groups. There's the original group, the most vulnerable, and now we've seen an acute crisis situation. So now there's another group that is also receiving a small stipend to be able to get them through this process. So I think these are all great steps. I think also the Kenyan government has done a good job in regard to forming the NDMA, the National Drought Management Authority. So we see figures on a monthly basis on what the situation is throughout the country, and that allows also county governments, obviously devolved functions within those county governments, be able to create contingency plans and be able to respond to the needs that are within the community.
All right. So what practical examples of solutions do we have on the table? Things that you yourself have seen work. You know the challenges that these communities, affected communities, go through. The biggest contributors to the hunger crisis in certain parts of the country. What is it that has practically helped? And how far do we need to go? What more do we need to do as a country to change the narrative in these populations?
Sure. Like many organisations, we have what we call a global resilience program. So we're supporting pastoralist communities. We're supporting cross-border initiatives. You know, we have programs in Turkana, which are cross-border in the Karamoja region. We have cross-border programs in Marsabit, in the Moyale region, cross-border with Ethiopia. And what we're supporting there is aspects of land use plans. We're looking at natural resource management, and also there's an aspect of conflict that comes into that as well, and making sure that there are peace committees so that pastoralists can cross border, that animals can access water points and can access grazeland, etc. But there's also other things that we're doing at home. So for example, we support reseeding of grazeland. We support fodder production, so making sure that communities or community groups are demarcating areas that they can actually produce fodder, bale that fodder so that when the dry periods come, that their animals have some feed. But I think, what is critical is access to water. Yeah, and we see a lot of households that are trekking up to 8 kilometres just to fetch water for their household needs. So this is something that we've been invested in quite heavily as well. Rehabilitation of water supply, particularly those strategic points where both humans and animals lack water. And yeah, I think another aspect is the diversity of livelihoods. Often, as you know, you have communities, pregnant women, lactating ladies, you have children under 5, you have the elderly, all in one sort of location or village, while the herders, the men, are out with their livestock. So we're trying to create some livelihoods for that segment of the community as well, so that they can bring in a little bit of income to support their household needs.
Is it easy to change how people have seen it, how people have lived? Because that many believe this has been our way of life. Every time around this time, we always face drought. This has been our situation. We rely on relief food, and then we pass. And then next year, we're back at this again. Changing that belief, changing that trend, has it been easy? And what strategies are you, employing to get down to the communities and to speak their language and to be able to change their mindset, to start thinking of long-term solutions to their problems?
Yeah, I mean, pastoralism is a traditional vocation, yeah? It's a livelihood that has been around for decades. So to change that mindset, to sort of influence a pastoralist family to sell their livestock or diversify is
into
very difficult.
Yeah,
it's very difficult.
I'm trying to imagine that's not easy.
But that's what we're also trying to promote. If we are supporting a rehabilitation of a borehole, then we want a mother-to-mother group that's also involved directly with that borehole, so that we can also support good agricultural practices, maybe the production of vegetables, the introduction of indigenous vegetables, to be able to diversify their diet at home as well. So yeah, it is very difficult to change behaviour, but I think we see more and more that, particularly like at the moment, we've got 1.4 million livestock that have been reported as passing away because of the current drought situation and the current rain that we've received.
All right.
And yeah, unfortunately, is pastoralism sustainable? I think we need to complement that with
something else, yeah? Just to find different ways of addressing this crisis. I'm looking at this vision for a world without hunger. Is that even possible?
Well, I mean, this is part of the ambition of the Kenyan government, SGD 2, zero hunger by 2030. So yeah, it is an aspiration of Kenya. Unfortunately, I think progress is slow, but it's achievable. And I think collectively all stakeholders need to come together and ensure that we have the right policies, the right strategy and the right support to rural communities to be able to achieve that. So yeah, and I think this is also highlighted within President Uhuru Kenyatta's Big Four agenda, increasing agriculture.
Right.
We have 33% of gross domestic product comes from the agricultural sector. So we need to continue to invest and support those initiatives.
All right. I like the optimism that you have left us with as we just about to wrap up this conversation. So the 26th of January, there's going to be the launch of that report, the Global Hunger Index report. This is for 2022. 2021. All right. So tell us a bit about this and how it's going to inform, how stakeholders need to, reap the benefits of this report. What are some of the things that how is it going to help us, going forward?
Yeah. So I think the report will highlight some success or progress that we've made, but it'll also highlight some of the failures and some of the areas that we need to concentrate on to bring, the food security issue to the forefront of planning within Kenya. So we have a number of panellists that are organised for the 26th, and then we also have some live presentations on the 27th. They're coming from government, they're coming from policy, they're coming from academics, they're coming from civil society themselves, and really giving the story of what they're facing and trying to call to action the need in regard to food insecurity in Kenya, and addressing it not only through policy, but making sure that policy reaches the grassroots level and is implemented throughout Kenya. So yeah, this is really just a call to action and really just to highlight or raise awareness within the public of where we stand and what we need to do going forward. So we have a number of technical staff that will help us address that issue and help us deliberate on what we need to do next.
All right. Kevin Shingles, thank you for your time and, of course, just helping us understand more about the Global Hunger Index report and how our country is faring, how it has been ranked when it comes to the indicators that, form this particular, index report. Of course, on the 26th of January, this month, actually, there's going to be the launch of that particular report, something to look forward to. Kevin is the country director for World Hunger Welfare Foundation. Thank you once again for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right. And on that note, we are going to be taking a very short break. Still more lined up ahead for you. The latest from the world of sports coming up in just a bit. To stay with us.
Bila shaka. Watoka wapi?
Excuse me?
Mimi nimekuuliza watoka wapi?
Kwa hivyo unamaanisha mama amemkosea baba ama unamaanisha nini?
Umekasirishwa na nini bingu?
Oh, so this is okay with you? This is okay with you?
Wewe unajua roho ya mwanaume. You pity her, right? You think she's lucky? 'Cause 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 'cause
Bingo.
All right, and now let's focus on the sports news. Kenya has signed a deal for the Safari Rally to remain on the World Rally Championship until 2026. The deal was signed at the Automobile Club of Monaco between Kenya's Sports Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohamed and WRC promoter GmbH Managing Director Jonas Siebel. CS Amina also signed several partnerships with the WRC revolving around talent development and environmental conservation. The 2022 WRC Safari Rally Kenyan leg will run from the 23rd to the 26th of June.
As a country, we are also keen to grow the Women in Motorsport program, which I'm personally passionate about, to ensure that women are not excluded in rally competitions. In keeping with our intent to lead and deliver on the Sustainable Development Goals, we have charted 2 legacy projects championed by His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta to secure sustainability and improve the conditions of our host institutions and our host counties.
It means really a lot. It's such an iconic event with such a strong tradition, heritage, the whole passion of the people. And I feel that the people, and I saw it last year, that the people are so thankful that we created this comeback already last year. So for us, for the continuous growth of the WRC as a global relevant championship, it means a lot.
Sprinter Ferdinand Omanyala has been nominated for the Sportsman of the Year category and will hope to win the award during the Sports Personality of the Year Awards Gala, which will be held in Kakamega on Tuesday evening. The sprinter will battle for the top honors against 2-time Olympic marathon gold medalist Eliud Kipchoge, Tokyo Olympics 800-meter gold medalist Emmanuel Korir, rally ace Carl Tundo, and rugby player Alvin Otieno.
Ferdinand Omanyala is among 5 nominees fighting for the Sportsman of the Year 2021 award. Omanyala made history at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, becoming the first Kenyan to reach the semi-finals in the men's 100 meters. He went ahead to equal his 100 meters national record with a time of 10.01 seconds in the first round, where he wound up third and eventually reached the semi-finals. Omanyala would later settle for third position in a new national record time of 10 seconds flat, even though he failed to make the final. He moved to Europe, where he became the first Kenyan to run under 10 seconds when he won his 100-meter semi-final in a new national record time of 9.96 seconds at the International Joskolov meeting in Austria. He further shaved off more microseconds, winning the final in 9.86 seconds on the same day. He then made his debut at the Diamond League in Brussels on September 3rd, making him the first Kenyan to compete in 100 meters in the event. He finished 4th in a time of 10.02 seconds. Omanyala went on to break the 100 meters African record, finishing 2nd in 9.77 seconds during the Kip Keino Classic in Nairobi. This made him the fastest man in the world this season and 8th fastest man in history. Omanyala will battle for the top honors against 2-time Olympic marathon gold medalist Eliud Kipchoge, Tokyo Olympics 800 meters gold medalist Emmanuel Korir, race ace Carl Tundo, and rugby player Alvin Otieno.
Now moving on, Nairobi's Banda School emerged victorious in the girls under-14 race as the 23rd edition of the annual Hog Charge ended at Peponi School, Ruiru today. Nairobi's Peponi House Preparatory School and Pembroke School of Gilgil registered a photo finish in the boys under-14 category after they both crossed the finishing line in 60 minutes.
The Banda School emerged victorious in the 23rd edition of the annual Hog Charge held at Peponi School, Ruiru. Banda, who needed exactly 60 minutes to cut the tape, shook off stiff challenge from St. Andrew's Preparatory Turi, who emerged runners-up after cycling for 84 minutes. In the under-14 mixed category, a combined team of Peponi School and the International School of Kenya triumphed in 64 minutes, while Nairobi Academy clinched the runners-up position in a time of 67 minutes. Nairobi Nairobi's Peponi House Preparatory School and Pembroke School of Gilgil registered a photo finish in the boys under 14 category after they both crossed the finishing line in 60 minutes. Ruiru's Peponi School were third placed in 66 minutes.
It's fun and join. It's good and it helps your body to have a healthier, to be healthy.
The Hog Charge is a children's bicycle event that takes place at Peponi School and on the Northlands Ranch, where the children are in teams of 4 and they have to navigate their way through a course of 6 or 7 checkpoints.
The Hog Charge, sponsored by Brookside Dairy and Northlands City, is Kenya's national mountain bike competitions for teens. Over 700 riders braved the hot and dusty conditions at the Sukari Ranch Ruiru to participate in the event, whose proceeds go towards supporting the Rhino Ark, which is involved in a conservation project that focuses on the Mount Kenya water towers.
Right, away from that, the battle for the top honours in the Kenya Basketball Federation League continued to intensify as KCA Ladies Division 1 team beat Multimedia University team 38-20 in the Division 1 quarter-final match that was played at Nyayo National Stadium. KCA claimed a 11-2 win in the first quarter before settling for a 7-7 draw in the second. KCA continued its form of brilliance and won 11-05 in the third quarter and a 9-6 win in the fourth. Elsewhere, Equity Bank claimed a 73-36 win over African Nazarene University team, while Footprints beat Western Delight 49-47. And now to Batters Golf. Golf Park-based Eric Oko and Kenya Railway Golf Club Samuel Joroge tied 2 under par on day 1 of the Road to Magical Kenya Open Limuru at the Par 72 Limuru Country Club course on Sunday. Oko, one of the leading professionals in the country, dropped an early shot at the Par 4 second hole and the Par 3 fifth, whose pin position denied many players birdie opportunities, but managed to level a 9 after birdies over the Par 5 third and the short Par 4 ninth. He then played a steady bogey-free back 9, which included 2 birdies at the 14th and 18th. A total of 73 players had turned up at the Limuru, though 10 players went out in the first round, 5 of them having shot over 85, while 2 others, David Odhiambo and Boniface Kosgei, were disqualified for playing wrong balls, with 3 others having withdrawn for various reasons.
I'm okay with it. I just have to pull up a little bit my socks because I was struggling a little bit, but I know it will be better tomorrow.
My approach shot have really improved a lot, and they're the one now making me play better game now. My projection is to play 12 under par for 4 rounds.
All right, allow me to close it there. We appreciate you for watching Sunday Express tonight. Thank you so much for all of you who created time to catch the latest on the bulletin. Please continue interacting with us on social media, www.kbc.co.ke. That's our website. On YouTube, find us at KBC Channel 1 News. My name is Serfine Achieng'Ouma. Our sign language interpreter has been Byron Abuli. Have a good night and God bless.
kupata skiza tune hii ya mwanzo mpya, bonyeza *811 *815 hash.
Usikae hapo na kujihurumia eti kwa sababu ulikosea ama ulianguka. Maisha wakati mwingine utapata umeanguka ama umekosea. Pata mafunzo pale. Unapopata mafunzo, inuka tena, kung'uta mavumbi, songa mbele. Yaliyopita jamani, si ndwele, ganga yajayo, maana kuna nguvu katika mwanzo mpya.
Ili kupata skiza tune hiyo ya mwanzo mpya, bonyeza *811 *815 hash, *811 *815 hash.
Tusirudi nyuma kwa mipaka na nchi kufungwa. Tusirudi kwa biashara na shule kufungwa. Kwa kutoweza kukutana. Kwa kutengana na tuwapendao. Tusirudi nyuma.
Na kuhitaji unikinge, pata chanjo.
Ili tuendelee na maisha vizuri.
Na kuhitaji unikinge, pata chanjo.
Na kuhitaji unikinge,
pata chanjo.
Na kuhitaji unikinge,
pata chanjo.
Na kuhitaji unikinge, pata chanjo.
Ili tuendeleze maisha bora kwa ajili ya wapendao, nchi yetu na usoni wetu. Kwa ajili yetu sisi sote. Pata chanjo. Kaa chonjo. Kuhakikisha nchi yetu na uchumi wetu umestawi katika uwazi. Tusirudi nyuma.
Mundos divididos por una sombra de traición.
She's starting to have problems with the people who work for the Ferrers. This only shows the kind of morals your brother has.
Why are you always defending him? He treats you like dirt, but you never do anything.
Lower your voice. Is there any reason for me to refuse him?
Me? Am I not enough reason?
What should I do?
I'm worried that Mariella won't stop until she gets what she wants because she thinks that she deserves justice, Father.
You did! Stupid brat, no one...
You don't have any right to insult me. I know that you're also going to deny that you stole the land that belongs to my grandfather. Can anyone tell me who that was?
Lying heart.
Fue sembrando el veneno y la ambición.
Hello good people, this is Save Life, and Save Life today is in Nyamira County, and today we are going to bring you a very moving story. And for me, when nilifika hapa nilitoka na machozi, and for me ni siku moja nimekuwa hapa, but hii family wamepitia shida. Nimekuwa hapa kutoka asubuhi, but I can tell you for sure wana shida. Like this is the first born wa Mr. Nyona, na mpaka shule ya kumaliza mwenye mzee amegonjeka. Nilikuwa pale Polytechnic na akabaki amedrop shule. Sasa ndio naangalia mzee, na mzee pesa ya matibabu imekosa. Imagine waliamua tafute 40,000 na pesa ya NHIF. Hiyo pesa ikakosa. So mzee ako nyumbani, apati matibabu yote for now. As we talk, ako nyumbani. And you can see his case. They don't have that money. For them, 40,000 is a lot. Ni pesa mingi wezi pata. And that's why tunakuletea kipindi so that we can put what we have. Mtu 10 yake, 50 yake, because alembo ndio hiyo matibabu yaanzishiwe. Lazima tafute 40,000 na alipe NHIF. I know we can do this. Yaanzishiwe matibabu na pia tumsaidie zaidi. Pia tumulipie pesa yote ya hospitali. So Mr. Nyona is 50 years old na amekuwa na familia, alikuwa endelea vizuri until ugonjwa ikahit. As you can see, alikuwa ameangalia familia. Even when we are is a good house, amejaribu. But ugonjwa iliingia. Sasa this is the reality. So, mom, tutaki kuongea na mzee sana. Unaweza tuambia shida ilianzia wapi na ilianzia lini?
Alianza kwa 2020. Ndiye alianza mara ya kwanza. Kuna hii kitu ilianza tu hapa kidogo. Na nyama ikamea kwa mdomo. Tukampeleka KBC General. Akafanyiwa surgery huko. Alipofanyiwa kakaa huko karibu wiki 3 hivi. Akatibiwa, akapona kabisa. Tukauza kila kitu kwa nyumba lakini akapona. Aliporudi nyumbani, aliendelea na kazi yake kawaida. Baada ya muda mwezi 2 hivi, tena hii kitu ikaanza hii. Hii ndio ilianza. Kakakuja kadogo hivi. Tena akaniambia nimeanza kuona dalili ile ugonjwa inataka kurudi tena. Hata sisi tukastuka. Nikaambia kijana wako hapa nyumbani, leo baba yako tena ameanza ile shida. Tena siku chache akaniambia hata mdomoni tena nyama imeanza kumea. Hapa mara ya kwanza tena alitolewa nyama nyingi kubwa kwa mdomo. Akapona tena ikarudi. Ile shida tena ikarudi ile. Tena tukaanza kutafuta matibabu. Tumetembea hospitali nyingi. Tulipokuwa tunataka kurudi KBC, mgomo ukakuja wa nurses ule ulikuja ulitangaza. Tukaenda huko wakatuambia hawafanyi kazi. Kuna ndugu zake huko Nakuru. Wakamwambia kuna rafiki yetu alituambia hii ugonjwa mkitaka muende Kijape ndio atatibiwa. Tukauza ng'ombe, tukauza chai, alafu akaenda Nakuru kwa ndugu yake. Akaambia ndugu yake, ndugu yangu mimi nataka kuenda Kijape, ndio nimeambiwa advice huko ndio nitasaidiwa. Akamuuliza uko na pesa ngapi? Akamwambia niko na 20,000. Hii haitakusaidia. Wacha tuangalie vile tutafanya, tuendelee kupeleka huko Nakuru. Akaendelea kwenda huko Nakuru. Alafu wakatafuta Nakuru referral. Wakaweka WhatsApp. Wakasema hii pesa Kijape wanatakiwa pesa nyingi sana. Wakaweka pesa WhatsApp zikaingia. Wakaenda Kijape wakampeleka huko. Kufika huko wakaambiwa wakapeleka hiyo faili yake wakaangalia. Wakaambiwa nyinyi rudi nyumbani mkuje siku fulani ili afanywe matibabu. Wakarudi. Waliporudi ile siku ilipofika wakaenda Kijape hapo hospitali. Wakaambiwa basi tuachie mgonjwa nyinyi enda nyumbani lakini muendelee kutafuta pesa. Huyo anatakiwa pesa nyingi. Wakamwambia hakuna shida, tutaona vile tutafanya. Huyo akapaki hospitali. Kesho ikafika. Usiku hivi karibu saa 1 akaambiwa kesho kaa chonjo na ukue tayari uende theater. Alafu wakakaa. Wakakuja wakamtoa kwa wodi, akapelekwa kwa theater. Kufika huko kwa theater kuna daktari wengi walimzingira wengi. Hata kulikuwa na wazungu wengi. Wakamzingira wakawa tayari kumpeleka afanyiwe surgery. Daktari mkubwa alipofika akamwangalia akamwambia huyu hawezi fanyiwa surgery. mkimfanyia ataaga sahi. Wacha akae kwa ward tuone vile atapata dawa, alafu tena anatakiwa chemotherapy. Wao walipotoka Nakuru tena wakakuja wakapata mgonjwa wako vile walimwacha. Wakaelezewa huyu akifanyiwa surgery ataenda, anatakiwa mtafute pesa mfanyie chemotherapy. Haya, wakaambiwa sasa tutumwacha hapa ama tuende, tunataka tuende na mgonjwa wetu tuende kutafuta, hebu tupatie pili ya hospitali. Hiyo siku 3 bila dawa, bila tembe, bila chochote. Wakamwambia walipe 108. Wakasema, wakauliza tulipe hizi pesa zote na mchamtibu, si mmeomba pili, leta pesa hiyo pili ya 108 alafu mpeleke aende mwende
180
108 wakalipa hata kupatiwa hata tembe. Waliporudi Nakuru wakaanza kwenda Nakuru General kwenda huko. Huyo akasema hata kama si kutibiwa huko Kijapa hapa nitapata matibabu kweli, hata pesa ambazo zilikuwa nazo zimeisha, wacha niende nyumbani niende kutafuta njia nyingine. Tukakuja akaendelea kutibiwa, tukamtibu, tunanunua madawa kila siku, halali bila dawa. Tena akakuja miguu ikafura, ikakataa kutembea. Tunambeba na huyu kijana tunamtoa nje, tunamrudisha. Tunamtoa nje, tunamrudisha. Tukakuja tukapata daktari mwingine akaanza kumponya, ndiye akapona miguu, lakini tena nimeona imeanza kufura leo. Tumepitia mengi, alafu ametibiwa, tukaona hatuwezi kumwacha hivi. Hata mate inatoka kila wakati. Anakula chakula light, ninanunua maziwa, ninunue supu, anakula tu vitu light. Na hiyo yote ni kununua ama nifanye blended. Ni blend viazi, ni blend ndizi. Ndio anakula tu. Tena mate inatoka tu, inatoka. Alafu tukaona sasa tutaacha. Huyu mwana anaendelea kulia, sasa mnaniangalia nikufe, mnaniacha tu. Nifanye nini? Tukaambia relative, marafiki wetu, simtufanyie mchanga alafu tupate kitu kidogo tena tuuza hata hii chai na ng'ombe tena yenye imepaki hapa. Wakatutafutia pesa kidogo. Alafu tukaambiwa tumpeleke Moi Referral. Tulipoambiwa tumpeleke Moi Referral, tukapata tu pesa kidogo. Tena tukaanza kupiga, hii kweli itatufikisha transport, tena tuende kushughulikia mgonjwa. Kulikuwa na ndugu yetu mmoja ambaye ni daktari, akatuambia wacha tutafute huyo daktari mkubwa mwenye ako huko Eldoret, ambaye tungeenda tumpate huko. Akatuambia huyu anakuja Oasis Saturday only. Basi wacha tuongea na yeye aniambia atafika saa ngapi ndio tutoe mgonjwa hapa. Akatupigia simu on Saturday, ilikuwa Saturday imepita tu karibu wiki 2 hivi tulipotoka huko. Tukaenda mpaka Oasis, tukaambiwa amefika saa 6 na sisi tukafika huko saa 6 hivi. Huyo daktari akamwangalia, akasema anatakiwa afanyiwe test 8. Akafanyiwa, tukalipa pesa nyingi tena. Alafu tukaandikiwa madawa. Huyo kijana akaenda akanunua madawa. Tena tukarudi nyumbani bila pesa, bila kutibiwa, lakini daktari akatuambia nitamtibu. Nenda mjase NHIF. Ama wacha niangalie mimi peke yangu nione kama itafanya kazi. Alipoangalia ikamkataza, alafu akatuambia tulipe 2 years. 2 years ndio itusaidie ili aende kufanyiwa chemotherapy. Sasa pesa ndio imekuwa shida. Hata kumtunza kwa nyumba ashipe ni pesa, kila kitu ni pesa. Nimesumbuka, nimepitia mengi. Huyu mgonjwa amesumbuka hata yeye. Lakini vile Mungu amewaleta hapa, maybe mimi naona atapona tu. Asante sana kwa kufika. Nimerudisha. Huyu kijana alikuwa KBC Polytechnic for first year. Anatakiwa asome 3 years. Akaacha kwa sababu ya ugonjwa. Na kuna wa pili na yeye alitakiwa aendelee kosi yenye alikuwa naye akaacha nje. Sasa anafanya tu vibarua. Na niko na mwingine ako form 3, hata alifika shuleni akarudisha.
So kuna form 3 amefukuzwa shule?
Alifika tu
na kuna wa Polytechnic. So kuna watoto wawili wanafaa kulipiwa shule.
Nisumbua hata akili zangu zimeenda mbali. Silali, usiku ni mkulia tu, ni kuumwa tu. Kuna wakati tunakaa mpaka asubuhi. Tena akikataa chakula hata usiku ataweza kuniambia nasikia nikunywe maziwa. Tena ninaanza hiyo usiku kutafuta maziwa. Niliona ati vile alienda KBC, wacha niuze kila kitu bora apone. Sasa ndio imekuja tu na kifumbi kweli. Tena ni nzito. Hata kupumua tu anapumua na mdomo.
This is sad. I know even if you can't do much, tuwezi msaidia zaidi. Kwa tunasemaga we do our part na Mungu anafanya wengine. But kitu pia nimeelewa ni eti this young man alikuwa Polytechnic na ametoka shule, amedrop because mzee mwenye alikuwa na jikamua na mulipia shule hajamaliza. Then akona mtoto wa form 2 ama form 3. Amefukuzwa shule yako nyumbani. I know we can support this family. Mzee amelembole ipo NHIF ya 2 years. Alafu atafute 40,000. 40,000. Yeah. Kama ulipa NHIF 2 years ndio hiyo anzio hiyo kemo.
At least we pay 40,000 when the child ends up.
Okay. So I know we can do this. I know we can support this family, and nikisikiza mama vile amepitia shida, inaniletea na understand what people go through when they have a sick person. And now this man was a breadwinner. He was everything in this family. Amegonjeka. Sawa mako, amechanganyikiwa because now he's starting a new life. He's now the breadwinner. You can understand. So it's quite sad, but it's the reality. The reality. And I hope even the government wanatazama vitu kama hizi, because mtu kama huyo hafai kuwa nyumbani juu ya finances, atiana pesa za hospitali. And this is a challenge also to all Kenyans. Kindly pay your NHIF. NHIF has to be active. Make sure it is active, because you don't know about tomorrow. But today I hope utaguzwa so that you can work with his family.
Mwenye anasikiza, namwambia mwenye ameguzwa anisaidie, kwa sababu nimeuza kila kitu. Nimeuza hata ng'ombe yenye nilikuwa nakamua kunywa maziwa, chai yenye nilikuwa ninachuna waende shule nimeuza, hata shamba nimeuza. Nimeuza kila kitu, hata sina mbele wala nyuma. Anafanya kazi ya shamba na boda. Tumepanda chai, ndio tunatumika chai, na akitoa ingine kwa barabara tunawalipia. Hata hakuna siku walikuwa wanakaa nje.
Na hiyo chai mliuza?
Chai tuliuza, hata ng'ombe ilikuwa hapa tumeuza.
So mabaki hauna kitu mama?
Sina. Hata ile yenye alikuwa anapata maziwa kidogo, leo ni kununua tu.
So nimesikia mzee alikuwa mtu wa bodaboda, and I know leo pia nda kuchallenge watu wa bodaboda. Acha tushikane. He's one of us. Mzee alijikakamua, alishughulikia familia yake na hiyo kazi ya bodaboda, but today he's unable to do that. He can't work, hawezi fanya kazi. Mwili imeisha nguvu, mguu imeisha nguvu, as you can see. Watu wa bodaboda chatuchangamke, nisaidie mzee ili aweze kuendelea na hiyo matibabu. And may God bless you as you purpose to help this man. Na ukumbuke mzee si alipiga magoti akaomba hii shida ikuje, ilimkujia tu. Na I like sharing about, you know, as I'm a Christian. Now we can talk about loving people around us. I can't say that I'm a Christian if I can't help people around me, because Christ as our role model as Christians alitufunza to share that love. Ali put in action because ali sacrifice life yake because ya dhambi zetu. You know that he demonstrated love, generosity, na akatukufia. We can do the same by serving such people with whatever you have. And remember, we don't give because we have a lot. No, we give ile Mungu ametupea, and giving is not losing. You can extend that love through your support. It can be a 10 shilling, which can make a difference. You can imagine utoe 10, mwingine 10, mwingine 20, mwingine 100, will do a lot. So ile kidogo uko nayo to make a difference. And may God bless you as you purpose to support this man. Remember that si alijitakia. And you know, as humans, hakuna mtu ako special ati leo naweza gonjeka, huwezi gonjeka. No, we are all the same. It's by grace of God that today I'm okay, I'm healthy, and I should thank God. Kama uko na nguvu, shukuru Mungu. If you have something to eat, shukuru Mungu. If you have somewhere to sleep, thank God. Shukuru Mungu for whatever you have. And Mungu amekupea hiyo nafasi that you can serve him, because as we say, that service to humanity is service to God, and the greatest thing that you can do in this universe is to serve God. There's no time that nena nipelekee Mungu that 1,000, but through serving such people, that is serving God directly. Using my time, sacrificing my time, my gifts, my skills to serve such people, ni kuserve Mungu. And that is the greatest thing that one can do in this universe, to serve God. So let's serve God today by helping this man. And I know as you purpose to help this man and apata hiyo matibabu, also consider the Form 3 and this man who is in Polytechnic. Let's support them. And mama anasema aliuza mpaka ng'ombe alikuwa anakamua maziwa ya nyumba. Akauza kahawa. So ameuza kila kitu. Amebakia penye anaishi.
Ninalia tu kila siku. Kwa sababu nikiangalia vile nilianza maisha yangu vizuri na penye nimefika, ni machozi tu. Na hata watoto wangu wangekuwa wameenda mbali hata watusaidie. Nimelia tu, mimi nalia tu, vile alitoka Kijabi hivi bila kutibiwa. Na vile tulienda Kisii nikaambiwa tena nijaze NHIF miaka 2, ni machozi tu. Nimepitia shida nyingi kwa sababu sitoki, sitafuti pesa vile nilikuwa nachuna chai ninapata mshahara. Mimi nakaa tu nachunga mzee. Ninamtafutia hiyo chakula, maziwa. Hata kuna wakati ninapigia ndugu zangu ama marafiki zangu wanitumia hata 50 bob nimnunulie maziwa kwa sababu ya kuishiwa. Hata wao wananisaidia, lakini hakuna mwenye atakusaidia kila siku.
Leo watu wengine wanachoka, saa zingine tukuwapigia
wakiona simu yako hawashiki, kwa sababu wanajua huyu anaomba kwa sababu ya ugonjwa. Kumwangalia tu nikulia, nikimwekea chakula anashindwa kula, tena ninarudisha. Hiyo ni njia nyingine ya kutoa machozi tena. Naambia Mungu afanye miujiza yake, amponye kwa sababu aliponya wengi. Mama anifungulie njia ya kupata pesa atibiwe. Mama nipate, atume malaika wake vile leo amekutuma. Maybe wewe ndio malaika amenitumia unitafutie pesa tumtoe kwa nyumba.
Viewer, it is sad now. You know, and we tell these stories so that you can understand whereby sometimes life can take you. Because mzee akufikiria siku moja atakuwa mgonjwa. Mama akufikiria siku moja atakuwa kwa hiyo situation anaomba. Na alijikakamua when this man was okay. But leo maisha imebadilika. Now that's why as we serve, as we live our life, we should also see such. And when I see such a story, it changed my perspective of life. Najua what I have now ni grace ya Mungu. Ni grace ya Mungu. It's not like I'm special. Ni grace ya Mungu amenipea nguvu niko nayo. And I should serve him with all my heart. I should serve him with all my heart. And if I have people around me, the loved ones, my family, I should also serve them because I don't know my tomorrow. And such stories hizo ni reflect na zinanifanya nifikirie sana about my life. And I also hope that the stories that we bring to you, they normally touch you. And I hope they normally change your perspective about life. Because back to basics, back to understanding how simple things counts. That being healthy ni grace ya Mungu. Kubreathe hii oxygen freely ni grace ya Mungu. Kuwa na nguvu ni grace ya Mungu. Kutoka vile ulitoka asubuhi ukaenda ukafanya kazi ni grace ya Mungu. That whatever we do, whatever we have, ni grace ya Mungu. Reflect about that, think about that, and thank God. Be grateful for what God has given you today.
Achieng'Ouma. Ndio first born kwa familia. Mzee alianza kukonjeka 2020 June. Kwanza complain tumemea hapa kwa uso, gine nyama imejaa kwa mdomo. So like kamwambia tutafanya aje? Kaniambia ana pesa. Nikamwambia uza tu ng'ombe. Tunaenda hospitali usaidiwe. Tulianza na Tenwek tulienda tukalipa 15,000 wakati wanyama wapime waone kama ni kanza. Tulienda Tenwek almost every Wednesday na pikipiki
kutoka mpaka Tenwek
na pikipiki every Wednesday tunaenda. Tukifika huko wale watu hawako wanatusafu, wanatuambia kuja next time. Hiyo result tulienda hadi tukawata na hiyo result, ndo tukapata rafiki akatuambia kuna daktari Kisii anaweza msaidia. So nikapanga, nilikuwa nakaa Kisii, nikapanga nikaona daktari, akanambia nilete mgonjwa. Kakuja hapa, nikaleta mgonjwa. Hapa hatuna pesa, napeleka mgonjwa hospitali lakini una pesa. Tukaenda, tukafika Usii, akawekwa kwa ward. Siku 2 tukaambiwa hakuna oxygen. Tumekaa Usii siku 2, siku 3 hakuna oxygen, hatiwezi fanywa surgery. Tukamdischarge, tukarudi nyumbani. Tukarudi nyumbani tena, nikarudi, akanambia kuja. Tukaenda, tukauza ng'ombe nyingine, zilikuwa 3, tukauza 1 2. Tukaenda huko, akafanywa surgery, ikakuwa successful. Mzee alikuwa sawa hadi akarudi nyumbani, akaanza kufanya kazi zake kawaida. A month later akanipiga simu, akanambia hii kitu tena imerudi. So nikakuwa na stress tena, itakuwaje? Nakaa town, nakaa nyumba ya mtu, niko shule, so kazi inakuwa ngumu. Nikarudi, nikamwambia wacha nikuje nikuone. Kakuja, nikapata yenyewe kitu kwanza imeanza na spili na inamuuma. Sasa inamuuma kabisa hadi analia kabisa. Ndo ndugu yake, kuna ndugu yake hapo Nakuru, but kuna rafiki yake alimwambia hiyo kitu Kijabe wanaweza kusaidia. Tukarudi, tukamwambia aenda Nakuru kwa ndugu yake, ndo atoke ndugu huko aende Kijabe. Kufika Nakuru akamwambia Kijabe ni expensive, utamanage. Kuna pesa ngapi? Alikuwa ameuza ng'ombe nyingine hapo ndogo na 10,000. Alafu tena akarudi, ikabidi akarudi kutoka tena Nakuru, akakuja kuuza chai. Ndo tena at least hakae na hiyo pesa. Hapo pia niko shule, so itabidi nitoke shule nikuje nyumbani, ndo at least mama pia asaidiwe kazi zingine kidogo. Nikatoka huko nikakuja hapo nyumbani March nikaenda nikahamisha vitu zangu, nikarudi nyumbani nikaenda Eldoret Nakuru penye mzee alikuwa amekaa.
So shule ukaacha?
Nikaacha.
Hujarudi tena?
Sijarudi tena, nikaacha.
Jueni firstborn, kila jukumu pesa imekosa.
Ndachika pesa kama 40,000. Aanze nayo yo kemo.
Okay.
Yani at least NHIF yezi anza kukulipia. Okay, alikuwa analipa kutoka nyuma, lakini wanataka at least ikae paid for 2 years so that ianze kazi, yani ndio imsaidie for long. Yeah. So tukaambiwa lakini haitaanza kufanya, tafuta 12,000.
Okay.
Ni 40,000.
Alipa NHIF na alipa 40,000.
Alipa 40,000 cash ndo anze. So tukasema tulifanya fundraising hapo, tukaraise kitu 36,000. 36,000 gari kutoka hapa hadi huko 35. Haya, kutoka hapo hospitali tests alifanywa 16,000.
Ile pesa tena ikaisha. Madawa,
kuna dawa daktari amwandikia, unajua painkiller ya ugonjwa kama hii ni expensive. Unajua moja inakaa 1,000. 3,000, hata nilitumia 7,500 hiyo siku peke yake. Hiyo pesa ikaisha, tukapata hatutarudi hospitali.
So sasa aendi hospitali, ako hapa tu
sasa.
Naongoja tu someone to come and help.
at least someone anakuja tusaidie, tuone kama tunaweza mtoa hapa tumpeleke hospitali. Kwanza akiamka, ukimwona akiamka anatoka kwa nyumba, kama umesimama mahali utarudi tuulie tu. Ni uchungu. Ni mtu alikuwa amezoea kazi zake vizuri, alafu ukimwona sasa hivi nyako ngumu, nasikia vibaya sana.
Ukiongea na Mungu unamwambiaje?
Mwambie tu asaidie mzee, hata akae na nguvu tu, hata nguvu ya kutembea tu, azonge hivi atembee, aone hata vitu zake, ajawahi hata kanyaga kwenda huku chini. Ni